Hello and welcome to Empowered Voices, a podcast where we share tools, knowledge, skills to help you take control of your life. I'm your host, Charles Edward, speaking to you from the heart of Kampala, Uganda. Today's episode is about something vital, your health. We'll be talking about how to take care of both your body and mind and how your lifestyle choices impact on your well-being. In a world full of hustle and stress, health is your foundation. Here with me today, I have two outstanding guests. Colin Kosh, a lifestyle influencer, a brand ambassador, and a skincare enthusiast. And Dr. Brandt, our general doctor. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having us.
Introduce yourself to our viewers out there.
I'm Caroline Cash. I'm a self-care, skincare enthusiast, beauty brand ambassador, like he said, here in Kampala.
Hi everyone. Dr. Brandt here. I have a clinic that I lead that actually deals with young youths. And I'm a general practitioner. And actually, you can feel free to come consult me free of charge, actually. Yeah, I will not charge you. Come. And yes, I'm happy to have here.
Dr. Brandt, when we talk about health here in Uganda, what should we think? What should we be thinking about beyond not only being sick?
Thank you so much for that question. And most of the time, if someone hears the word health, they hear about sick, being sick. But health is beyond being sick. Yes, and I'll share my views. If you talk about health, just not think about being sick. One, are you mentally okay? Yeah. When I talk about being mentally okay, I don't mean being mad, because sometimes people are not healthy because their mental state is in a disorganized state. For example, most of the young youths, they don't have jobs. Yeah. They have relationship stress. Yeah, maybe they've lost a loved one, or they've woke up to that email. We regret to inform you that your proposal has not gone through, and then they go. So if you're going through that thing, you're not healthy. Health means when actually you're healthy mentally, socially, and economically. And I'll speak about also access to health, because most of the young youth do not have access to health. Maybe if they want to seek or to see a doctor or a counselor or a clinical psychologist, the distance they travel. For example, if I want to know about abortion, yeah, abortion is actually, we should actually be talking about abortion, but in Uganda, if you talk about abortion, that's a taboo. But if a young girl or a young mother want to know about abortion, do they have actually access? And what do I mean by access? The transportation, the distance they travel to go and meet a what? A doctor. And also, that also health. When I talk, there's health beyond being sick. For example, information. Do you have information? If you want to know about menstrual periods, do you have that information? Because for me, when I was growing up, I think my sisters first went into the menstrual cycle before even they started discussing it, which is a very, very bad scenario. Because, for example, if you're staying with your sister and you're only boys, how do you go about it? So we need this information to ensure that actually people are healthy beyond being sick, beyond the physical sickness. You see that I have headache, malaria, I have cough, I have COVID. We need also to have information. If I want to do safe abortion, this is reality. Do I know where to go for its materials? Do you know where I go to have that information? Yeah. So we need also we need that information beyond being sick. And I talked about a social and economical health. If you trust me, if you don't have a coin in your pocket, you're not healthy. Yeah. If you don't, because most of the young people are struggling who are with actually getting employed, are struggling to get what to eat, and that's not really being healthy. So you need to be empowered economically to ensure that you're healthy. I'll talk about, what else can I talk about being healthier beyond what? I'll talk about even the community we live in. Yeah. Are they welcoming? For example, I would say if I am a person living with HIV, do I have a support buddy? Or every time they see Brant walking, I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, who is sick? You understand? So how can I be adhering to my medication or treatment when I don't have supporting community? I grew up actually. I'll share an experience whereby one of my step brother passed on because of HIV. But by that time, I wasn't a doctor. So I kept on seeing the discrimination at home, segregating the cups, the cutlery. You don't walk into that bedroom. You cannot hug him. You cannot be near him. I think they died of depression rather than actually adhering to medication. So the community will stay in. Yeah, people. If you believe in God, be it you, but don't actually discriminate someone who doesn't believe in God. Yeah, if you believe in actually wearing those long dresses, don't actually discriminate someone with it, so that we can be what? We can be healthy. So healthy is beyond being sick. And I'm here to say that please don't wait for you to get sick. Yeah. For example, do our people know their blood groups? They don't.
I don't think so.
Apart from actually, if your loved one needs blood and they don't know what she's dying anytime soon, can we get a sister or sibling? So please, yeah, you need to know your blood group before you go into that state of, not knowing where you stand. So I'll urge my youth, the young youth, to always actually ensure that they're healthy beyond sickness. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Branch. I have another question. What some of the most common issues you see in your practice, especially amongst the young adults?
The most challenges are cell complications, and one is actually mental health complications. They have a lot of stress. The young adults have a lot of stress. They are one of the stress, they don't have job, yeah. They don't have actually the relationship stress is actually on a higher level. But you know what? Yeah, my boyfriend, he was paying for my tuition and then actually he has dumped me, yeah, which actually contributes a lot to the young youth. That's why you hear someone has actually died. We've walked up there and we've found Brant in his bedroom or in his bed there because of mental health. And sometimes they fear to come up because they don't know how to go about it, where you perceive it. Sometimes when you come and you tell me your story about mental health, you're just being lazy. Yeah, you're just a planned kid. You just want to be like a planned kid, which is not the case. And actually, I remember the last quarter, that is January to March, we had more than 700 cases of mental health in young people aged between 20 and 35. What does that show? That actually in Uganda, we need to do a lot regarding mental health challenges. Sometimes we mention about mental health, but do we know the definition of mental health? Sometimes we all smile. For me, I'm always smiling. You will never know whether Brant is going through depression or anxiety or what. So we need to bring avenues to ensure that people come out, to ensure that people talk. If you talk, that is solved, but we don't have those avenues, or we have limited of them. I'll talk about sexual transmitted infections. Out of 10%, at least 9% of young adults actually represent or present with one of STIs. Why? Because they lack information, and
Okay.
sometimes we self-medicate.
Oh, so we don't see the doctor.
We don't see a doctor. Why? Because of several reasons. I don't have money. I don't want to go there. What if I walk into that clinic and I find my uncle working there as a doctor, and actually they'll ask me, why do I have this STI? Yeah. So one challenge, information. We still lack information. Two, as a young youth, we are also ignorant, self-ignorant. I'll deal. Oh, my friend dealt with it with a Panadol, so I'll go about it. Yeah, and sometimes the socio-economical justice whereby I need rent, I need to survive, and there's this actually, boyfriend who's giving me all this, and let me just actually go as live, yeah, and then sometimes the distance, and sometimes the prices. The way I practice all our services free of charge, but you understand that the minimum treatment of an STI, yeah, the minimum that it will cost more than 20, 25, 30,000 Uganda shillings. But as Brant, who is not working, yeah, how will I afford to buy that medication? So I'll keep on spreading it, spreading it, spreading it until it worsens. And if it worsens, what happens?
It turns into a serious
Exactly.
disease.
We have UTIs because of our unclean environment. And actually, most of the time, what we do, we tend to overlook. For example, if you're setting up a studio like this, do you have actually toilets that are really for female ladies only? Or you're like, we have a cleaner. You understand? So we need to look at basics when actually setting up this, because most of the people come up. Actually, most of out of 100%, I would say 80% they have UTIs. But because we've actually normalized it. When I go, I think I have an UTI. But why should you think you have? Yeah. So as managers of spaces, be it bars, social places, be it offices, please ensure that that we set actually a comfortable environment to ensure that we do away with UTIs. And most especially young youths are really ignorant. I might come with my degree, but not know the definition of a UTI. Yes, yes. So we really need to also inform the youth. I want to enter this studio to find information about STI, to find information about UTI, so that actually if someone actually gets away with that, people are like, oh, last time I got this pain, I think I have ABCD. But what we've done, we've traveled, come back with those strong painkillers because you know how to treat yourself. And sometimes we need to know that actually if someone takes paracetamol, that is Panadol, it might not be compatible with paracetamol. What do you do? Because you got it from Canada, it's strong, you give it to your peer. What happens? Complications. And I've seen actually, for example, hypertension in young people, ages 20 to 30, because of their lifestyle. Now they eat to survive, not thrive. Yes. Why? You have your cat while you're like, you have your cat 10K, you're like, if I eat twice a day, then I don't have transport, but back home. You end up taking Chikomando. Yes, you end up not eating healthy. And for most of us actually eating healthy, actually you chicken. No, eating healthy, do you do fiber? Fiber, those are greens. Do you take greens? Do you take your fruits? Or you want to swallow this vitamin, the processed vitamin? Because my dad from UK sent it to me. You have your mango, have your pineapple, fresh pineapple, have your juice, fresh juice, and you're done. Eat your dodo, eat your greens, and that is it. But for example, now if a planned kid finds you eating dodo, you're not eating healthy. Yeah. So please, you need actually our young youth. Please learn to eat not to survive, but what? To thrive. And most time, I'll talk about also diabetes. When we are growing up, for me, there's an age. I'm like, you know what? Maybe diabetes for old people, but 60 and above. But now you see a person of actually 20 years, yeah, having diabetes.
Even
Why?
younger than that.
Even younger than
Yeah.
that. Yeah, because of things of our social behavior or social behaviors. One, you choose soda over water. Yeah. The concentration of sugars in the sodas are higher than in the water. Actually, in the water, we don't have any sugars. But what do? You find someone, you visit someone, they have Coca-Cola in the morning, they have Fanta, and then you understand they have they do KFC, yeah, because actually they think they have the money, but it's not about the money. It's your what? Lifestyle.
It's your
Yeah.
lifestyle.
Yes. For example, I was chatting with friends. We drink beer from morning to evening. Mm? We brunch.
We branch beer.
We brunch beer from midday to 4 a.m. You're branching. But I concentrate, and for me, I love cider. Let me take a cider. But there's sugars in that cider. Yeah. And after taking cider, you know what you do? You go to your bed and what?
And sleep.
You wake up with a hangover, you take a Coca-Cola, a cold Coca-Cola or Fanta to fight what? Not knowing. So that's why you see it's a lot of people, actually young people, coming with the diabetes and also the obesity. There are obesity actually in young people. Why? Because that sometimes are brought with stress. You've heard of someone saying, for me, when I'm stressed, I eat a lot. When I'm stressed, I do what? So you find the level of obesity. And sometimes, you know what parents say? My kid is healthy. Yeah, because it looks big and all that. Yeah, so that those are some of the complications really do when it comes to young adults.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Brand. Now back to you, Karen Cash. Good to have you today.
Thank you for having me.
You are known for your clean and skin care routine that you do every day. How does your daily skincare look like in today's life, especially on Ugandan climate?
Um, Honestly, for me, I think it's having a dermatologist is what has helped me. They help you tailor a routine for you. So the checking of the skin first, and I find that when you do that, it saves you money as opposed to when you do it on your own. You
Okay.
see what you see on the internet, you go to the store, you buy whatever, you don't know if it's good for you, you don't know what type of skin you have. So that has been, I think, most of the questions that I get online in the DMs. And so I urge them to just speak to a derma, let them decide something for you. Some people have normal skin, they don't have reactive skin like that. Some people do. So let them figure that out. Then they'll give you something for you, even according to your budget. And then they also have the climate in mind. Yeah, because most of the products that we are selling here are mostly for the climate. And yeah, so I think that's how I've managed to just maintain it and also just keep it simple. You don't have to complicate things. You don't need to have a whole 10-step routine. You can just have 5 things and you're good to go. So yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Most people suffer with skin issues due to miscommunication. I think I don't understand, maybe someone tells, go do this, go do this, go do this, or use this product. What are the most common skincare mistakes people do make?
Well, the first one is what you said, just taking information from anyone, including me as a skincare enthusiast. Online, talking about skincare, I always say, at least at the end of my video, like, please speak to someone, speak to a professional, and let them decide. Or I disclose that this is my routine.
Use
But
vitamin C.
yeah, but this is where I went, to get my routine. Or I might just educate on different types of product, and then depending, maybe it's something you've been trying to like check out or something that has helped you with information. And if it's something that they've given to you, a dermatologist has given you, my content will help you, like how to use it, what time and stuff like that. So I feel just the era that we are in, everyone is online, everyone is on TikTok and stuff like that. So you find people kind of, taking that information very serious, and it's like, oh, this person said this, I'm going to do that. I think that has been like it's the issue. And then, like you said, lack of information. So then you just continue down a rabbit hole, and then it causes other things, the reactions you're getting, the money you're spending. So everything stems from not being informed.
No,
Yeah,
you're very active on social media,
I am.
and you're giving us all the hints how to do this, how to do this. how do you balance your beauty with the online viewers, with the being, because I feel like there's a lot of pressure
Yeah.
when it comes to beautification. How do you balance that with your daily life?
Honestly, I don't balance anything.
You don't balance anything?
No, like I used to back in the day before I got on. I was who I am right now. But you reach a point where you start living for yourself, and when you start living for yourself, that is going to exude online. So the pressures of being, oh, you have to look like this, you always have to have a face beat when you're online and stuff like that. I think I let that go a long time ago. And because I was doing skincare content, it was important that I showed people how my skin looked like. So no filters, no nothing. I would have like a pimple today, and then I'm like, guys, I have this, so this is what I'm going to do for the rest of the weekend to kind of bring it down and then share that content. So I feel it's also important for you to show majority. I have girls who follow me that are young. It's important for them to see that being online, you don't always have to have everything together. Sometimes things are just not it. And but you still thrive. And there are days where you're down, there are days where you're up, and you share both sides. So someone watching that can be like, okay, so this is real life. It's not the aesthetics all the time. So I just found that even my audience enjoys it when I show raw footage. They love it. So for me, it was a plus because that was now content for me that I can.
So you raw footage, you don't give us a filter.
Nothing, please. If I'm in a bonnet today, I am. If I'm having my hair braided, I had issues with my edges. People were seeing me with like hair loss. So I show everything because that is how life is. It is true. It's not you wake up and you look put together all the time, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't balance. I just be.
Oh, that's very good. One more thing I think which is really onto my mind. What's your approach beyond skincare, beauty? How do you take care of your mental and emotional health? How do you take care of it?
That has been a process. Being online on social, and even when I started, I was a bit all over the place. When you're trying to figure out your niche, when you're trying to figure out what do people want to see, it's a bit of a struggle because you like I said, you want to you show up all the time, you're looking put together and stuff like that. So it was very stressful at that time. But I reached a point where I got tired of the rat race. I got tired of chasing. I said, but surely, even if I show up here as authentic as possible, there is someone who can watch that. So when I let go, I realized that's when I thrived. So that letting go and then starting now to put systems in place, habits that I can work with that always have me protected, that's when I started to go into that direction. So I journal a lot. I write down my thoughts every day. So it's basically like your audit of the day, what happens throughout the day. If there were any highlights, if it was good or bad. It's nice when you put those details down and it helps your mind kind of like I don't know, just to see where you're at mentally, I feel. And also, I do a lot of walking. I walk every morning when I wake up. It's just something that I find it just rejuvenates me, makes me feel fresh, and then I feel like mentally I'm okay now to present myself online. I will log off offline every Friday and then log back on Monday. And while Saturday and Sunday, what am I doing? I'm rebooting. I'm trying to enrich myself. I am watching my favorite shows, I'm eating well, I'm hanging out with my family and stuff like that. Because you find when you're an influencer online, people come to you for like guidance sometimes. It's important that you're not following trends, but you yourself as a human being, you're presenting yourself authentically. So you need to check out to first enrich yourself and then come back and give people what they want. And then you're also in the good mind space, I feel, You're not always Monday to Monday, oh my God, they have to see this. Oh my God, and not everything is content. I actually, I used to say that because I'm like, just pick up your phone, even if you go to the supermarket. Like, but then I realized, but everything is not content. Sometimes you want your own time, you know? I could switch off my phone. Like, when I log off on Friday, I'll switch it off, I'll put it in the drawer, and I'll just go about my day. I'll go to town, I'll do whatever, everything I need to do.
Without your
And
phone?
just, yeah. But I'm
How-
with my sisters, you know, I'm
Oh,
hanging
okay.
out, or I'm with my nephews, or I'm just doing me, you know, and you don't feel tied to it because every time you're online all the time, it's like you are tied to it officially. If you don't show up, oh my God, I'm finished. My numbers are going to go down. What am I, you know, that pressure. So you're always, and that's when people start to experience burnout. You're tapped out, you have nothing to give anyone. So it's, you know, so I just find those things have helped me. Yeah.
What I've realized of late, I think everybody who has done a lot of beautification, they are called what? Dermatologists?
Yes, the skin doctors.
The skin doctors, yes. Some of us and some of them are not skin doctors. They
Yes,
just kind of like,
they
I
have
want
graduated from the
I,
University of
from
YouTube.
thank you.
Yes, they're
That
not
university
doctors.
that does it give certificates?
No, it's you just watch and learn.
Everyone has
It's
their own
free.
skincare. Everyone, I'll go to China and do this. So, they're all doing beauty products.
Right.
My question to this Bess, do you think the beauty industries in Uganda is evolving to reflect the diversity of an African woman? Do you think is evolving there?
I feel like we have a long way to go. There are very few, like I'm very lucky to actually know some of the people in the spaces who have their own clinics. They own them. They travel to educate themselves.
Yes.
They fly their staff to go and learn these treatments, these products. Like those are the people I respect. But if you go into town, there's a clinic everywhere at every mall. You know, you don't, they are selling you a product without label and it's pink. And then it's like, what? There's so many things being sold on the market that are not necessarily good, but it's up to you to inform yourself and find the ones that are doing it right. But if you go to downtown Gazaland, I don't know what, there's so many clinics there that I was in an Uber the other day and my windows were down and I was passing via Mini Price, I think. And there was, you know how they put like a speaker outside? They record their voices, they put a speaker out and they let it run all day. So the woman was like, wayagala kwelu siya wajangwe. No, I didn't. I was like, what is happening? And there are people who go there and they use them, but how are you going to use a product that they've given you in a can without labels, without
Without
ingredients,
ingredients.
without percentage, nothing? So these things are supposed to be formulated fast. You know, that's why you can't even get like those lemons you get from your fridge and put on your face. You can't. Because they are not
The ones we use,
formulated to a
the one we
degree
use
that's
in the
good for
salon
face.
for us who have beards.
Chireke. So when with some of the people that I know who own these clinics, I meet with them for lunch. We talk all the time. The stories they tell me about the ladies that have gone there to rectify the damage that has happened to them is crazy. And it's even worse and it's more expensive to rectify the damage you've done than actually, because before you might have been a bit badly off, but not too bad, you could manage, but it has damaged your skin so badly, and like sometimes you can't even revive it. They're like, there's nothing we can do.
You're burnt out.
Yeah. Skin wise. But yeah, so it's just try and, you know, do your due diligence, do your research. There are clinics there that genuinely know what they're doing. I have a clinic that I'm currently working for where they bring surgeons from elsewhere, doctors from elsewhere every
that's
2
good.
months to come and do something here, educate. They do workshops and stuff like that. But just refrain from going to a place where someone has no certification, nothing. Yeah, that's all I can say. But we have a long way to go.
No, thank you for that. Back to you, Dr. Brandt. From a medical perspective, how important are those small daily habits
I'll start by saying prevention is better than cure. And actually, how do we start preventing? By starting with actually small habits. What do we mean by healthy small habits? One, actually, she talked about walk. Yeah, having a walk. Can you walk for 15 to 20 minutes? Yeah. But sometimes you meet someone and they cannot even walk for 5 minutes. Yeah. Yet actually, if you're walking, you're exercising, your body is exercising, you'll not get those heart failures. And you know how expensive actually someone are going through a surgery for heart what? Operation.
Heart operation.
I've talked about uh, actually choosing water over soda. Yes, it's also actually helps and actually reducing on the sugar levels, actually hence not getting those expensive surgeries, expensive medication, for example, diabetes. My dad passed on over diabetes, but actually the pain he went through, injecting yourself in the morning, before
All those
eating, after
insulins, yes.
eating, exactly every night. So it's really a tug of war. Sometimes when you get a wound, it takes forever to what? To heal. So please start early before you go to the expensive surgeries. Brushing your teeth. Yeah, morning.
I think it's the small things. I
Very,
think
very
people
yes.
underestimate the small
Exactly.
things.
Brushing
They
your
think you have to do something grand.
exactly. Brushing your teeth. You not go to Turkey to,
To whiten them.
to whiten them. Maybe that those actually a bad odor, and then how expensive a root canal is. You know how expensive those dental surgeries are. So please, actually, having those small habits will help you actually not going to what? To the hospital. But most of the time we overlook them. For example, we have delivery guys. You can still sit here and you have your breakfast here, your lunch here, your dinner here. But is it healthy? You're not actually walking around. And then what are they delivering? They're delivering KFC, cholesterol, a lot of cooking oil, a lot of oil in it. After that, you're like, but for example, now I can actually, I think I'm craving for a beer. So on top of cholesterol, you're taking a what? You're beefing it up. Before you know it, you have a lot of complications. So those small basic practices. Actually, we should, as medical practitioners, we should actually give information on basic small practices rather than having those complicated medical things. I rather actually, I was sitting here and actually think about, okay, can we go back to the basics whereby we start by actually telling people, drink water, brush your teeth, wash your hands every day. Yeah.
The one we used to study in school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Soap.
Exactly.
COVID came and we're being taught how to
You
wash
remember?
hands.
I think I always tell my
Yet we
friends
are
actually,
adults.
I think the time when our president enjoyed his seat, it was through COVID. Because whether you don't support him, whether you're not supporting what you used to sit, the address would start at 8 by 7:45. You're on your television. So, but actually say, wash your hands, don't touch your face. And people practice that. What if we go back to those basics? Will not actually have these expensive payments in hospitals. And sometimes health goes hand in hand with facial. You are talking about skin routine, because sometimes you might think that's about your health, yet it's a skin routine, yet you didn't actually address it in its early stages. So we need sometimes we even don't want to sit near people. Someone is talking like because of bad odor. But toothpaste, we have a variety of actually toothpaste.
Yeah.
Nowadays we offer chewing gum.
But
You
chewing
want?
gum, after that
I know,
chewing
but
gum,
also the body odor.
body odor. You're going to eat, you remove your chewing gum, you place it somewhere. But after eating, the odor comes back. So let us, also drinking a lot of water can also work on your odor, bad odor. Yeah, but sometimes we eat a lot of food, we don't eat fiber, we don't have greens, and then that time you wake up, the odor is really gone. So please, yes, and also having enough rest. 8 hours, 8 hours, which we cannot, because sometimes we are working, you're working till late, and sometimes you're in a bar enjoying. And sometimes I even wonder. I was actually having a chat with my friend. I'm like, we've grown up. Years back, we used to go to Wink at 3 p.m.
Wink,
Yes,
bye.
go back at 4 a.m. By 6, You're waking up to
Dr.
prepare to
Brian,
go
don't
what?
make us too
To
old.
go to go to work. But then that actually also decreases your lifespan. So please have actually enough rest. And actually, I'm happy and regarding your how you use your phone towards the weekend. But for example, I'm tired of I don't have sleep because you're on what? You're TikTok scrolling, yeah.
Seeing new
Yes.
challenges.
Sometimes people are, I've seen my friends buying sleeping gummies. Yes, I've seen my friends actually smoking weed for them to get sleep.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a bad behavior. You have that mind that if I don't
Yeah.
go to bed at 2, I cannot get sleep. Yeah.
I use a sleeping spray. Some case, for example, when I'm a bit stressed, I take long to find sleep. So I use that spray to spray on my bed.
I didn't know
And I
there's
spray.
something called a sleeping spray.
It is there. It's called a smoothing spray. So you spray on
Wow.
your
Pillow.
on your pillows. But the minute you come, it smells good. It
And
gives
then
you
you
that
sleep.
chamomile flavor. And
Maybe,
then
but just drink tea. Come on,
And
man.
also you're getting addicted.
Don't spray. Just drink tea.
You're getting addicted.
I
Every
don't.
time you feel you're less sleep, you're like, okay, let me go and
No,
what?
I don't want to be motivated to wake up to pee. Like every time, because of too much tea. Like, what motivates you to wake up and pee? Because most people will be asked that question. I feel like when I want to go to bed, I'll either spray the
I
my.
think like just create
Or
an
sometimes
environment an hour before you
I take
sleep.
rounds about my apartment as I'm talking to. We have these new apps, Step. Who doesn't have Step on their phone? Guys, download Step. It actually helps. So you take the steps, walk around, yambuka madara,
In the
come back
night,
in the night in your house. The minute you enter your house, you take a shower, go to bed.
just do something an hour before you sleep. Like try to set the mood. Like dim
Don't
the
watch
lights,
Netflix.
remove the TV, remove any noise, have your cup of tea. Like try to set the tone where it's calming, I feel. At least that's
I
what I
think
do.
so, yeah. I feel
And
like
also exercising. You can do like 10, 20 push-ups. By the time you're done, you're tired, you're sweating, you just go shower, cold water, and then sleep is there. But people are now, I think young youths are now getting addicted because of social media. Because like you see, how can I sleep? And then you see spraying, sleeping spray, gummies. You understand? It is addictive and expensive. 'Cause for example, I'm seeing someone who is in um, rural cities. Yes, they have cities now. Rural, whereby yes, you lack sleep, and then you're like, okay, let me also try to buy what. By the time you Google the price, it is very very expensive. So please do the basics. Go to gym. Don't do kanyama. Don't bodybuild, but don't go to gym to maybe do 20 minutes of treadmill, walk around, listen to music, call a loved one. By the time those laughing, those laughs can really push you to sleep. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much for sharing that. Now, lately, we've been talking about mental health. I will start with Dr. Brandt and then later I'll come to you, Carlo and Kosh. Um, what do you, both of you think where we are going with this conversation in Uganda when it comes to mental health? Dr. Brandt, I'll start with you.
That's a tough topic now, because actually, as I told you in my initial conversation, that people think mental health is just a word. You just mentioned it at mental health. Mental health is broad. Do you know that definition of mental health? And in Uganda, surprisingly, we haven't done much regarding mental health. One, if I cannot talk to my friend or my loved one about what I'm going through, then I cannot get help. Yeah. And also, what services do we have for mental health? I'll define mental health to go back to basics,
Yeah, okay.
as we've been sharing. Yes, for example, if something stresses you, can you please go do away about it? Yeah. If, for example, can I read more regarding mental health? What is mental health? Rather than being mad. For example, 2 years back when we were defining mental health in Uganda, if you ever mention about mental health, you're mad. And if you go to the National Referral Hospital, that is Mlago Hospital, that clinic is still named Mental what? Mental something clinic.
Really?
And then what people are there? The mad people. Me going through stress, anxiety, depression, trauma, I'm not mad. Exactly. You understand? And I always tell my peers that, for example, seeking help is not luxury. Yeah. If you feel you're not okay, talk to someone. And we have a lot of actually stupid or petty challenges we go through that brings about mental health. For example, relationship, you've been dumped. But if you enter a relationship, just know there's a beginning and the end. Yeah? But for you, it's not forever. Even our parents. Yeah? I don't know how many fathers do I have. My mom actually had 3 men.
Oh, yeah. So,
Yes. And you cannot go there. It's forever and forever. And then, no, it's not forever. Forever is costing you. Yeah, you're not performing at work,
yes.
which will lead to you being sacked or fired. And if you're fired, you're adding a lot of metals. So, for example, learn to go with actually what is going. If you're going through a relationship, just know there comes a time when that relationship will what? Go. Work. We all know that work brings stress. How? For example, you've been appointed as a manager, as the editing officer, what? And you sign your contract. And most of us don't read our contracts. There's even a clause, I will call you at night. But because you're surprised about that job, you're like 5 years, you've not been employed anywhere, and then your boss starts putting pressure on you. And for me, let me tell you one thing, if you put pressure on me, I cannot deliver. Yes. And I always tell people, my thinking time starts at 9, and by 3 p.m., I don't see any client until because I am giving myself to also heal. People have a lot of challenges. People have a lot of problems. Yeah. So if you add on that problems and also have your problems, how could you solve? How will help a community? So, seeking help is not luxury. Talk to your peers. Talk to a clinical psychologist. Now, for now, I have a clinical psychologist, Charles. If any of your team wants to speak to my clinical psychologist, a professional one, I think she has a PhD now. Yeah, so you can actually just call me and make an appointment. She can even find you wherever you are, so that you talk to her and then actually define. Sometimes it's mental health challenges, but it actually brings about our saving routine. Do you really save? Yeah, you're earning 400,000 shillings, but in your small head, you see 400 as a small what? But even if you save a 10K, it can help you somewhere. Rather than saying, Mama, Charles is driving a Golf. I'm on a border. I called Charles when it was raining. Charles didn't even help. Charles saved to buy that car. For you, don't even have a saving habits. Yeah, there's small things that actually trigger your mental health challenges. And sometimes it's vice versa. People judge. People judge. For example, if I come and say I'm stressed, people say, he is lazy. He doesn't want to go to work. Yeah, he's mad. He's bewitched. You understand? Yes, he's bewitched. Their family, they are chika. Not knowing that, yes, not knowing that actually the challenge is actually that the mental health is real, guys. It's more than having a chronic disease. Because actually that's why we saw people, waking up, checking up your friends, and then they're dead. They didn't wake up. So please, mental health is real. We need actually to make it a priority when it comes to health. For example, if social media, go off social media. Yes, I know you're the best editor. Put down your camera and have like 20 minutes of rest, 20 minutes of break. I always tell the people I work with, if you feel you're pressed, don't come to work, because you'll just actually make mistakes, mess around instead of working. And we have those mental health breaks. We do. We have 22 days of leave, but we've actually gone ahead to add more 5 mental health days.
Oh, so those are 27.
Those are 27. For example, if you wake up not feeling okay, it is okay, stay home. Because even if you come at work with your mental health challenges, you will not perform. Yeah, hence delays in performance.
The mental days, you are they in a medical term? Are they related only to the medical?
No.
Worldwide, it's
Yes,
general.
it's general. It's general. Wake up and say, I'm giving my staff 10 days of mental health. What you cannot take them at the same time, but then you can choose to also maybe in a month you take 2 or 1, depending how you feel. But sometimes even we abuse that because you keep on saying, for me, they stress me. I'm stressed. Leave me because you don't want to perform.
Or talk about stress.
Yeah, to cover stress, that boss is stressing you, but do what is actually needed, and your boss will not stress you. Do basics, routine, exercise, drink enough water, talk to friends, visit relatives. Some of us we don't have relatives as friends, but you have that friend that you can talk to. Talk to them. Don't actually, and also what we've not done as medical practitioners. One, we've also not given a lot of information regarding mental health and then actually in a layman's language.
That's good.
Because you've heard about the demo, the word is really heavy.
Sure.
So what we've done, we've started now having a check, mental health check in a basic black and white English. What is mental health? What do you know that actually, what does it mean someone to go to mental health? And then we've gone ahead to also sensitize government facilities. For example, we don't want to see those labeled what? Mentally, what's those mental clinics? We don't have them. And then actually I was having a conversation with the Butabika mental hospital. And then can we have other 2 departments that deals with mental health rather than actually having anyone as a mad person. And I've always actually gone there to visit people. The most especially they're in mental health challenges, not mad.
Oh yeah, the stressed ones.
And also you need to go back to the drawing board. What brings people to be addictive to drugs? Some of the contributors are mental health challenges because you don't have work, and then you're seeing their brand smoking. You'll smoke. After smoke, you'll either get appetite, get your commando eat, or sleep. Yeah. So we need also to really to ensure that we educate people, we inform people, and we make information available. In Uganda, reading is actually we have a bad habit of not reading, but we should also try to visualize, to bring out those catching graphics that actually define mental health. We should go, for example, when I was still working with people living with HIV, we used to do those flash mobs. You go to the market and you start dancing, sending out information about choices. What are choices? Condom, you demonstrate about condom, you talk about PrEP, you talk about PEP, you talk about other information. If you want to talk about, say, family planning, yeah, because sometimes now people fear to talk about family planning. And you end up having young girls with unwanted pregnancies because they don't want to what? They don't have that information. So with mental health, we should actually start a strategy of actually removing them from the books, from the theories. Manya Patrick said in what land, and no, let us actually localize our mental health messages so that we can help our young adults. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brown. I think since you mentioned, I think everything about mental health, I think Madam Colin Kasha will pass by. Then
No, he said most of what I would have said because me, I talk about it in the sense of self-care. But what I will add is that we also need to, especially when you spoke about the relationships, oh, they've dumped me, I don't know what. You need to learn to live life on your terms. When you're fulfilled, you as a human being, it's the other person that comes into your life is just a cherry on top. You don't feel the need to have them so that when you break up, you're confused. You will be hard, but there's a way you can manage it because you've been trying to take care of yourself separately. Your emotional state, your mental, all these things. And when you do that, you find that when these things happen that are external, you're not broken by them. You will be hurt by them, you will, figure out a way to deal with them, but they won't put you down. So maybe put yourself first, figure out what you like, what you don't like, what your values are, the people you want associated around you in your life, create boundaries, set boundaries, sorry. And then when you do meet these people, they because you've been checking in with yourself and taking care of you, you will be fine in case it does go left, I will say. But yeah, I would say first, take care of you, fill your cup first, and then feel
And be financially independent. I always
exactly.
tell people, my female friends, if you're financially independent, you'll not cry when the man walks out of you. But if you're not financially independent, you'll cry. And it will actually account on your mental health challenges.
Okay.
One, if you start small, make beads, each sell earrings, sell what, so that you can actually earn like a 10K a day, rather than actually expecting brands to always. Have you eaten money? You do have rent, so please be financially independent, so that you cannot die of mental health challenges.
Thank you guys for sharing. I think this is our last one, so it will go to you, Karen Cash. As you know, healthcare access and affordability is a major key in Uganda, and like every Ugandan believes that. What are those? How do we improve our health today? And what do you advise the listeners and the viewers how they can improve their health?
I think that's for Brand. He's the one in health. He will figure it
In
out.
health, because both of you deal with health, because you do into a lifestyle. Also, that is into. Do you think it should go to Dr. Brandt?
I know. Actually, I think it's partly the same because it's also
Both of you share.
it's the way in which you live your life.
Each.
Yeah, it's the way in which you live your life. It's your lifestyle. I will say just try and figure out who you are first. I feel like when we know ourselves, it's easier for us to navigate this thing called life, because you start to see everything down to what you enjoy to eat, what you like to do as a hobby. That's also a part of your lifestyle. Like if you choose healthy choices, if you choose the type of people around you, the friendships that you have, and such, I feel it will guide you throughout life in a steady way. And it will just continue to support you. But if you don't know who you are, you're going to find yourself just going where the wind takes you, I would say. And that's a very dangerous way to live. Hey, what are you doing now? Come. And then you just go here. You're here today, tomorrow you're there. I find try to create a standard for yourself. Even the people who are around you will be like, this Charles, there's a way he carries himself, he's like this, and they will treat you that way. So I feel first get to know who you are. When you know who you are, then that will determine the way in which you live your life. And then that's when, everything comes with it, the health, the choosing yourself, the taking care of you, it comes with that, I feel.
Thank you. Thank you so much for both joining us today. Do you want to say something?
Yes, I think I would say one to one is actually know yourself. For example, if you're showering, do you feel your body, or you don't, or your enemies with your body? Yeah. So you need to, when
A
you
lot of
shower.
us live through life on autopilot. That's the thing. We don't feel anything.
So if you shower and you hear something that is not right, make actually visit the doctor, visit the medical. But some of us wait until we are really doing bad and you expect to go to a doctor. Visit a doctor. If you're doing I always actually tell people. For me, I test for HIV every month, whether I've had intercourse or not. Why? Because it is my routine. I've made it actually a point that every month I have to go and check. And for example, I'll share a live example. I've never treated an STI in my entire life or UTI. Why? Because I know myself and know what, if I go for a burial, I cannot go to that toilet. Let me use actually roadside toilet. So that actually I'm safe. Yeah. I'm not saying that you should use those toilet, but then know yourself. Actually, let a clinic be like a bar. Yeah, make it your friend. Go consult. I'm like, yesterday I failed to sleep. Why? Yesterday I got something that so that actually you don't actually wait until it's late. That can lead us even to death.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Karen Cash and Dr. Brandt. It has been a very refreshing conversation, very eye-opening. And I feel like our listeners are also gaining something of what the basics we've talked about. Dr. Brand called them basics. Back to basics.
Basics.
I'm very glad, both of you, for joining me. And whether you're a student or a parent or a professional, guess what? Health matters. And real health is wealth. Thank you for joining. See you next time.